On this hunt, I'm heading to the Pacific Northwest, where the Layton Lakes District in Washington State will be my home for the next week. This region is blanketed by dense spruce, towering larch, and golden aspen forest, with Rocky Mountain slopes and sprawling marshlands connecting it all. It's home to some of the most sought-after game species around, like moose, black bears, white-tailed deer, and of course black-tailed deer. But this time, I'm after something special. I was lucky enough to draw a non-resident Roosevelt Elk tag, and it's early in the rut. Bulls are just starting to bugle, tensions are building, and the real action is about to begin. At this stage in the rut, bulls are starting to break away from their bachelor groups, and the biggest ones are beginning to gather cows and form their harems for the rut. Roosevelt elk are the largest bodied elk subspecies, with some mature bulls weighing up to 500 kilograms. Their antlers tend to be shorter and less symmetrical than their Rocky Mountain cousins, but what they lack in rack size, they make up for in sheer mass and presence. They favor dense, wet, old-growth forest and foggy coastal valleys. And that's exactly where I'll be spending my time. I wanted to be right in the heart of Roosevelt elk country, so I've set up my camp at a small hunting cabin tucked away in the Chila region. It gives me quick access to some of the best elk ground in the entire reserve. Rosies tend to hold up tight in the northern ridge, places like Calburn, where the mix of river bottoms and nearby marshland creates perfect habitat. But just a short hike from camp is Norden, with its rugged mountain terrain and breathtaking canyon that's earned a reputation as a prime Roosevelt elk hotspot. Now, I might be a little early in the season than I'd prefer, but when you draw a tag, especially as a non-resident, you don't wait for perfect. You make it work. And with a full week lined up and support from the local game warden himself, Colton Locke, I'm set to make the most of every minute out here. It's early morning on my first day, and I get an unexpected phone call. Hello, this is JBizHunts.
Name's Colton Locke, but everyone calls me Doc. I'm the warden up here.
I appreciate the call, Doc. Yeah, this is my first time out here, and I've got to say, just driving in, I can tell this place is something special.
I heard this is your first time in the Pacific Northwest and Lake District.
I've heard stories about Lake District and those big-bodied Roosevelt elks roaming the ridge, but it just hits different when you're actually here. Towering trees, crisp air, and that feeling like something could happen at any second.
I know just about every nook and cranny of this place.
Look, I'm really grateful to have that Roosevelt tag, and even more so to have you helping me get my bearings straight. I'm not looking to rush it, just want to hunt it right now. Learn the land, respect the animals, and maybe, if I play my cards right, punch that tag before the week's over.
Well, this here's the best hunting reserve you'll find in 100 miles.
So yeah, I'll do some glassing, get feel for the patterns, and we'll see if I can earn my keep out here.
I've been hunting here my whole life, and I still don't get tired of this place.
I can see why. It's wild in the best of ways. Feels like every trail leads to a story, and I'm just hoping to write one of my own this week.
Go ahead, look around. There's a lot to discover around here. Not just the big game.
Will do. I brought more than just tags. I brought curiosity. I've got my eyes peeled for signs, sheds, whatever else the lamb wants to show me.
Let's see what you can do.
I've been putting my name in for a Roosevelt Elk tag for years, and this season, I finally drew one. Washington allows one elk per hunter per license year, and I opted for the modern firearm method. For the hunt, I was outfitted with a gorgeous 7mm Magnum bolt-action rifle from Malmer Rifles. Smooth, reliable, and ready for business. Under modern firearm rules, the only antler restriction is that the bull must have at least 3 points on one side. That shouldn't be a problem though. I'm not just here to punch a tag. I'm hoping to bring home a huge trophy bull. The plan? Walk the Calburn River, glass the lakes around Norden, and if things go quiet, I've got a secret weapon. Doc sent me some trail cam photos of a massive bull that's been lingering near my hunting cabin. Fingers crossed he's still hanging around. That morning, I set out from the northern tip of the Calburn River and walked south to the first fork. Calburn was absolutely stunning, and it wasn't long before I spotted a decent bull elk tending to a harem of cows. He was a large bull who would look good in anyone's trophy cabin, but this was the first bull of the day. I decided to pass. It's still early, and I want to get a better look at what else this reserve has to offer. Still, I can't shake that old saying echoing in the back of my mind. Don't pass up on the first day what you'd be happy to harvest on your last. I spotted a few more bull elk during my walk down the Calburn. One of them, a massive bull, caught my eye over 300 meters away. I tried to lure him in closer with my Bugle Pro elk collar. I almost took the shot, but with daylight fading fast, I decided to pass. I didn't want to risk a poor hit and end up tracking him into the night. Tomorrow I'll try my luck again, this time in the hills of Norden. The next day I set out from the hunting cabin and head towards Norden. Hiking in Norden is much more difficult than the brisk walk along the Calburn River's edge. Up in the foothills, you have to make sure to stick to the trail. One slip, and that's the end of your hunting trip. Up in Norden, I came across a quiet lake and I see some rocks that could provide me some cover while glassing for some elk, perfect for staying at a site. I managed to slip into position without alerting a bachelor group of bulls. It's early in the rut, but it won't be long before these buddies turn into rivals. One bull in particular caught my eye. Heavy frame, thick beams. If he comes out on top in the weeks ahead, he'll be a complete bruiser. As tempting as it was, something in my gut told me to keep moving. I've got a good feeling about the area around my cabin, and I'm really just itching to try out the Bugle Pro elk collar. If that massive bull Doc spotted is still hanging around, I want to be there when he steps out of the open. Today, the plan is to head toward a clearing not far from the hunting cabin. I found signs of Roosevelt elk feeding and bedding in the area. I'm going to put the Bugle Pro collar to a test and send out a few calls. If that big bull Doc spotted on his trail cam is nearby, the sound of a rival bugling elk might be enough to draw him out into view. After a few calls, I catch some movement in the spruce trees. My first sign of elk in the area. It looks like a bachelor group, and I'm hoping they'll step into the open so I can get a good look. Maybe, just maybe, one of them will be the true trophy. I spotted a large bull hanging back, hesitant to follow the smaller stags towards my calls. One of the young bulls came in close enough that I could count the points on one side. He just makes the cut at 3. It was a great opportunity for a shot, but it was the wrong bull. As the elk retreat back into the trees, I decide to leave the comfort of my rock perch and head toward a nearby tent that I've pitched earlier in the day. I move slowly, deliberate, and stealthy, because this hunt may have just turned into a spot and stalk. These big bulls don't survive season after season by charging in at the first sound of a man-made call. If I'm going to leave Layton Lakes with a filled tag, I'll have to make my own luck. I think I've spooked them. I can hear the hooves crunching through the dry foliage. I slowly rise to get a better look, and just like that, I've got one of the bulls in my sights, but it's not him. Then into the corner of my eye, I catch movement, an absolute monster of a bull pushing through the spruce, heading straight for me. I'm gonna take my shot. Whoa, the adrenaline is coursing through my veins. I think that was him. Maybe it was all the bulls I passed on earlier this week. Maybe it was the rush of catching the group off guard. But something about that moment felt different. Up ahead, I spotted the sign. Bright red blood, the kind that tells you the shot hit the lungs. Even a perfect shot isn't always enough to drop a bull like that where he stands. He's hit hard. He can't be far. He's down just ahead. He's a massive mature bull, the kind of giant that scores anywhere from 380 all the way up to 415 inches. His right side looks a touch fuller than the left, but overall he's impressively symmetrical. This is the exact bull I pictured when I first stepped into the woods on day 1. Now it's time to get him quartered and packed out. I'll be sending him off for official scoring and a shoulder mount. So every time that I walk into my Layton Lakes Trophy Cabin, I'll be able to relive this hunt all over again. The Roosevelt Elk mount finally arrived from the post office, and I've got to say, seeing him in person brought all those memories flooding back. I enjoyed this adventure so much that I decided to make it permanent by investing in a little piece of heaven right here in the heart of the reserve, my very own Layton Lakes Trophy Cabin. It's a bit bare for now, but this beautiful bull will be the first of many. He wasn't a record breaker, but with an official score of 382.8 inches, he's what most would call a true diamond bull. This was the hunt of a lifetime, and one I'll be retelling around countless campfires for years to come. And as always, fellow hunters, happy hunting.